Welcome to the exciting new podcast. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Brian.
And I'm Dana.
Dana's here, ladies and gentlemen. Dana, tell everybody what we're gonna what we watched this week.
We watched Valley Girl.
And that came out April 29th, 1983. Running time of an hour and 39 minutes, rated R. It opened in 442 theaters. I don't know why that was out there. I saw it, so I wrote it down. Its opening weekend, it grossed $1.856 million, and it was number 4 that week.
This is the first time I ever actually realized it was singular Valley Girl. I always thought it was Valley Girls.
Dana was calling it Valley Girls earlier this week.
Oh, is that who I said it to? Yeah.
And I said Valley Girl.
Yeah, I never really
I didn't know. I didn't hear you say it.
I thought it was all one word, too.
I guess I'm the only one who thought it was Valley Girl, too.
Yeah.
No, I really didn't think of it, but I mean.
When it came up on the screen, I was like, oh, it's Valley Girl? I'm sorry to all the plural women out there that I thought it was.
This was directed by...
it was all 4 of the girls, right? They were all Valley Girls.
Yeah.
But we only cared about Julie. We only
and Valley Boys.
Yeah.
Val dudes.
Val
dudes. Tommy was a Val dude.
Martha Coolidge was the director.
A Val dud.
He said...
I don't think I've heard of her.
Who, the director?
Yeah, Martha Coolidge.
Good for her, though. A woman directing a movie in 1983.
And her top 4 was Valley Girl, Introducing Dorothy Dandridge, Real Genius.
She directed Real Genius, too?
Oh, that's a great movie.
And Rambling Rose.
I hope we get to someone sometime where you're like, their top 4 is a top 2, and they only had 2 things.
Someone on this list did only have 3 things in there. Yeah.
That's great.
Well, we've had a person had a top 1 I had the other day.
Was there a top 1
Yeah,
the
we
other
had a
day?
top 3 because they didn't have a top 4. That shows you how much he pays attention to the podcast. And he listens to it, too. Valley Girl is also known as Bad Boys. I saw somewhere it was written Bad Boys with a Z. Was an early title for this movie.
We just did Bad Boys with an S. So we can't have 2 Bad Boys
Which
the
I thought
same
was
year.
weird that it was Bad Boys and then with the Z was made it funnier. But the IMDb description was Julie, a girl from the valley, meets Randy, a punk from the city. They are from different worlds and find love. Somehow they need to stay together in spite of her trendy, shallow friends.
I tell you, this movie, like, Los Angeles confuses me. Like, in my mind, you're all from L.A. Like, what? There's different parts of this?
There's the valley. Don't be so grody.
And then when I was
There's
like...
multiple valleys.
When she was talking about, you're not from the valley, I'm
Then
like, where is he from the hills? Because isn't the hills, that would be more high class.
My
I would
favorite valley is
imagine.
where they have the All Valley Conference karate.
Yep.
I don't understand Los Angeles.
Yeah.
although-
What is the valley that they're in? I don't know.
There's
For
San
some reason, I
Fernando
thought.
San Fernando Valley.
Okay,
yeah.
but what's Pasadena? Is that
It's a
not?
city,
Is
but I don't know
that
if
part
it's
of LA?
I don't know if that's part of the valley or what.
We're so
you got
used
Orange
to like
County,
we're so
right?
used to our
That's part of
cities
LA,
being
right?
like
Yeah.
like Philly and New York. They're just these like LA's like 50 miles across. It's
Yeah,
like a
but
gigantic.
the
just
valley
sprawl.
is like 5 miles from center city Los
That's
Angeles.
TMZ. That
Oh,
stands
okay.
for 30 mile zone. So right there, 30 miles zone. That's 30 miles of highway. That's supposed to.
If you don't know LA, you don't know. It's just
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
not our thing.
it's
So
confusing.
we're on the wrong coast for that. I've been to LA a couple times and
never been
Yeah.
to LA, just
I've sat in
northern
traffic.
Cali I've been to, but not LA.
Me too, yeah.
anyway, Valley Girl.
All right, let me pull up the cast
They,
here.
this is one of the like they did that helicopter shot at the beginning around the Hollywood
Oh,
sign
Sarah was getting
where
dizzy.
it
It was so
went
shaky.
across the whole like they went a
Yeah.
360 in an era where you couldn't just do a 360 and they went
Yeah.
all the way
Yeah.
around. I was like, that's really cool.
That
like,
was
they're
a cool
showing
shot,
you all of LA right there.
But it
I
was
like
bad
that.
camera work.
Well, it was very shaky.
You see it today, and you're like, wow, they would have gotten that shot, but it would have been.
It was really
So
funny when
smooth.
they first show it and they do the MGM line. They say Metro. What is it? Metro
Goldwyn Mayer.
When they show that on the screen, it was bobbing up and down. Like, really? Is this going to be the quality of this movie that I'm going to be?
You're like, it's like you're
throwing up
watching
the
a
whole
VCR
time?
tape and you had the lines at the top.
I was worried about that too.
But then they started panning. I'm like, oh, they're in a helicopter right
Where did
now.
you watch
showing
it
this
on?
whole thing. I watched it on Hulu Showtime.
So did I.
Yeah, I have that
Showtime, yeah.
for Yellow
Showtime
Jackets.
through
So
Hulu,
I was like, oh, look at this.
My computer.
Okay.
Did your wife watch it with you?
No.
I asked her, yeah. Nicolas Cage is playing Randy. We've had Nicolas Cage.
This is not his first go around.
2 times now, right? This is his 3rd time.
Well, definitely Rumblefish and
Fast Times.
Fast
you
Times.
said.
Fast Times, right? Yeah, he was he Nicholas?
He was Coppola in
that.
I did read this was his first Cage.
Oh, he
movie.
was
This is,
Coppola
yeah.
in Rumblefish also. I don't remember that coming up.
One of the things I read on the trivia was that this was his first Nicolas Cage.
Yep.
Okay.
movie.
I saw that somewhere too. Yeah. So we really don't need to do his top 4. We've covered that, but Face Off, Leaving Las Vegas, The Rock, and Next. Yeah.
I don't even remember. I don't even know what that
Yeah,
is.
that's a movie.
I'm sure we talked about it
He
before.
has 10 million movies.
He's got
in
so
there.
many movies
Next.
on
Yeah.
there.
And he has a lot of good movies. Nicolas Cage is one of those guys. His career
Dana
is
has just watched the Unbearable.
great movie.
Yeah, I loved it.
But
Massive Talent. You haven't seen that yet,
No,
have
I
you?
haven't seen
Very
that yet.
good.
Yeah.
You should check
Nicolas
that out.
Cage's career has been like a heart attack, highs and lows, and like highs and lows in the same year, and then a big high and a big low. And Next, I don't even know
But
what
then he
that
has
is.
like there'll be periods where he's like 6 or 7 movies that come out and nobody hears of them.
in a year, 6 or
Yeah.
7 in a year. That's usually when
And then all of a sudden a movie like Pig comes out and they're like, oh, you got to see this. And then you watch it. It's good. Great movie.
It's almost like he doesn't care what movie's in. If someone gives him something,
I think
he'll
it's
just
a lot
do
to
it.
do with like paying off divorces and stuff like that. I thought
Remember he had a
Oh,
did he have
wow.
like
dinosaur
bones
skeleton and stuff like that, and he
Yeah.
had
He had wait. In
he
real
had like
life?
a full like a Tyrannosaurus head or
What?
something like that.
Yeah, he had some really interesting stuff.
Oh my god.
Because he was wanted it, man.
He has to have made that money back by now, though.
He's done a lot of good
He's done
movies
some good
recently.
movies,
yeah.
yeah.
Recently he's done some. I heard Renfield, his newest one, was not good, and by the
That's what I
previews,
heard, too.
by the previews, I knew it wasn't going to be good, but it looked like it might be
looks
funny.
like it might be fun, good enough to enjoy. Yeah,
Previous guest,
Jason, have you seen Mandy yet?
I have not seen
Oh,
Mandy.
me
It's on
either.
Tubi for
Free?
yeah, for free.
Okay.
But I haven't watched it yet.
All right.
I
Well,
want to.
if you do, make sure you tell me because then I'll definitely make sure I watch it.
I'm going to watch that eventually. But but I do want to see Renfield.
Yeah,
Yeah.
previous guest Connor texted me on Friday night. I think
he saw it?
as he was leaving the theater. He was like, "Renfield's not good." I was like, kind of expected it not to be.
I had hopes
but-
because it got that Nicholas Holt in there. Yeah,
but he's also another one of those guys that takes bad movies too. I couldn't name one now, but I know he's done something.
Wicker Man was bad.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about Nicholas Holt. He also
Who's
is.
Nicholas Holt?
He's a kid from the Menu.
Oh, the guy. Okay. Yeah.
He's in The Great now, I think. Also, I don't know.
He
Yeah.
did the British drama Shameless. I'm not Shameless.
He was also
What was
Beast in the new X-Men movies, newer X-Men, like Days of Future Past X-Men movies.
Yeah.
The one I'm thinking about was a great Skins. He was Tony.
Oh,
Skins.
I never saw
He's
that.
British, right? He's
Yeah.
actually British.
Oh, okay.
Because he always plays an American, usually accent.
Playing Julie was Deborah Foreman.
I'm not even going to attempt her top 4 because I don't think I know anything.
She
else
looked
ever
familiar,
did.
though.
You may remember her from Real Genius.
Oh.
Yeah, she was in Real
So
Genius.
the director of this movie took her along to do Real
So it
Genius
seems
too,
like, yeah.
and then their careers both stalled. After
She was
that.
also in April Fool's Day.
the horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one. I saw that back in the day in the theater. I think
My Chauffeur. I don't think I know that one.
is that a song?
That's an 80s movie, right?
I think it was a movie.
I don't know.
Yeah. And then Valley Girl. I think you may have heard of that movie.
Oh, Valley Girls in our top 4. Good.
And she was in an episode of Family Ties, a season 1 episode of Family Ties. I thought that was interesting, but she wasn't in a lot.
I wonder if she was like Michael P. Keaton's
She
date
wasn't
or
in
something
a lot
like
of
that.
things.
in
I think
Family
she
Ties.
came back for the remake of Valley Girl.
I think
the
you're right, too,
2020.
yeah.
A bunch of them did. I saw
There's a
them.
remake?
A 2000 and
Yeah, she's
How
only
did this
been.
go-
She was in the 2020 Valley Girl.
How does
Deborah
this movie
Foreman.
deserve a remake? Honestly, like this is of its
Yeah.
time. This is an 80s
well,
movie.
three of
It's-
the girls are in it. I think
I-
Dottie.
I get
Dottie.
that, but like
Keep calling her
Dottie.
why
I
make?
can't. I always call her Dottie.
I guess my question is why make a remake of this?
I
Why?
know.
It's
Why
de-
would you make a remake?
It's
of this
definitely not
movie?
the same Lauren. That's Lauren and the
Yeah, all
No, of
the
course.
all the Lauren's
Ah.
sound bites I have are labeled
Did they give
Dottie.
them the same names?
It looked like similar names.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
Now,
if they
does
were
it
all
take
the
place
same.
in the 80s? The remake?
Oh, I don't know. I
2020
didn't
is when
watch
it
it.
was made.
Yeah, but is it like is it a
Is it
period
set in
piece?
the-
A pair of
Yeah.
young lovers from different backgrounds defy their parents and friends to stay together, set to a new wave 80s soundtrack.
Interesting.
No, it just says it's set to a soundtrack. Doesn't say if it is the 80s.
I did actually in this version of the movie.
A
the 19
musical adaptation of the 1983
Oh, it's a
film.
musical.
Oh, I might watch it now.
I felt Grease
Especially if they're
vibes
singing
and
songs.
Romeo and Juliet vibes
Oh,
/
yeah.
West Side Story vibes as I was watching this. I was like, so they took West Side Story and
Yeah.
took the music out,
Totally.
and got rid of the Puerto
The first
Ricans.
review is nothing sacred anymore. Why? Why does this exist?
I'm still watching it.
Yeah, no,
It could be good.
it could not.
If they're
be.
singing and it's 80 songs, then totally. I'm
If
gonna
it's
watch it.
made up 80s
Like
songs, that's going to
No.
be absolute garbage.
Yes.
Yeah, are they singing "Melt with You"? Or are they just
Yeah.
like making up new
Yeah,
songs to sing?
exactly.
Playing Lauren was Elizabeth Daly.
I don't want to like start a family. Like, you gotta get all puffed out to the max and all for
Grady.
sure. Ow, God, gag me. How could you?
Gag me.
I'd be freaking out. Look, I'd be scarfing up everything in sight. I'm sure, I don't know, like, oh, I'd get so fat and all, and what happened to my zits? I can get so grody. And besides, it's totally gnarly birth control.
It is so funny. Like, I think that one line infested my high school in
What,
like
Grody?
94, 95, or 94, 84, 85. And the grody, gag me with a spoon, gnarly. Like, those words all of a sudden became a thing. And I remember not knowing why that was a thing because I didn't see this movie until like maybe 88, 89 or something like that. And I remember like not knowing why all of a sudden people started saying things like gag me with a spoon and gnarly. And I'm like watching it today going like, oh, this is definitely why people started talking like that all of a sudden.
Yeah, you want to try any of her top four?
I got one.
I got one.
What do you got? I think we
Pee-wee's
got the same thing.
Big Adventure.
Yeah.
That is correct.
She was like a voice person.
Yeah.
Wasn't she like, was she SpongeBob?
She was a Powerpuff
or-
Girl
was
and
Bubbles.
Tommy,
Powerpuff Girl.
Tommy
She was
Pickles.
Bubbles.
Yes.
Oh, she was Tommy
She's
Pickles?
Tommy
Yeah.
Pickles.
Holy
Yep, and
cow.
she was Babe. She was in Babe Pig in the City. She did one of those voices, and Happy Feet. She was in,
And she
but she
showed-
was Bubbles
showed her-
in the Powerpuff Girls.
Her boobs all in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
like,
You
I'm
got
not
all-
saying she's like competing with Leah Thompson for best boobs of 1983 yet, but she's second so
There's
far.
competition.
Yeah.
There is a competition.
She was on The Voice, the musical.
Yes, I remember that was
competition.
just recently, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
a few years ago.
the Gwen Stefani show, like as a singer, or
Yeah,
just
she got and she got through.
wait. She came on as like competing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
as like a 50-something-year-old person.
Yes.
Well, the voice doesn't have it. That's not an age one.
They
That's,
don't see you.
I know, but she's
Yep.
already got a career as a
Like she
voiceover
was Tommy
person.
Pickles.
Yeah,
I know.
She probably
She
doesn't
has
need the
hundreds
money.
of things on her IMDb. Hundreds.
She doesn't
of
need the
voiceovers.
leg up to
Nope.
win that.
She knew she wasn't going to win. She probably just went on as a little
Maybe.
publicity,
Yeah.
you know?
But that's like I thought a show for like no names to kind of get a name out there. She should just be sending her, tell her and her agent, I got a new album, put it out there.
Yeah.
But that probably won't get as much.
I guess as
Yeah.
The Voice. We were actually talking about The Voice the other day driving home. I said, can you name one person that ever won that stupid show? And Michelle could name no person. I'm
No.
like, it's a pointless show. It's pointless.
I don't think I've ever seen an
Oh, I've
episode.
never watched an episode
never-
either, but I know, you know
Just the
what?
commercial.
I would have never been able to tell you who Blake Shelton was before that show, and never watching that show. Now I know who he is.
See, I know who
Yeah.
Blake Shelton is.
But I didn't know who he was before that show.
I just
I don't
don't
listen to country music. I don't. But
yeah.
now I know who he is because of that dumb show.
Mm-hmm.
So it made his career. It probably helped like
Now that you
Gwen
listen to country
Stefani or
music.
whoever was on that show, Adam Levine, like people that were like on the downward slope, and now they're back in the spotlight. So it helped them. It didn't help the actual people that won the show.
No, I mean, I think sometimes with the country people who have won, because Blake Shelton has won a lot with his, and I know he had one girl in particular that was a country singer, and I think she got big, and we just don't know her because we
It's
don't
country.
give a crap about country. Yeah. But I
So
think
if you like
maybe in
country
that
music,
world,
you're a country person
Yeah.
out there yelling right at your podcast device right now. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I can name 5 people that won The Voice.
Message Andy. Message Andy, please.
AE Gonzo 1 on Twitter, AE Gonzo 1970 on Instagram if you want to come back at me with your terrible opinion.
Okay, so playing Tommy was Michael Bowen.
I know one gigantic
too.
thing that he was in.
I don't want to say it because it's crude.
Let's see if they both had the same thing again.
He was Uncle Jack in Breaking Bad. He was What's his
Oh,
face?
that's not mine.
Oh, he was Meth Damon, Jesse,
Really?
Todd. He was Todd's Uncle Jack. He was the one that, like, in the last couple seasons of Breaking Bad, he was the head Nazi.
Damn.
Yeah, it's crazy looking at him as a young man, and I'm like, God damn, he's Uncle Jack.
That's not what I have here.
Oh,
for him,
he's
no.
Uncle Jack for sure.
I have. He was in Kill Bill.
That is correct. Kill
He
Bill
was
Volume
Buck,
1.
who likes
Oh,
to.
Buck who loves to fuck?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Was he the one that got his head smashed in the door
Yeah.
repeatedly? That's awesome. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also have him here in The Last House on the Left
Okay.
and Jackie Brown.
So,
He
okay.
was
So
in a
he's a
bunch
Quentin
of
Tarantino
Quentin
guy. I
yes.
guess.
Oh, and
He was
Walking
in-
Tall.
Django. He was. I saw a bunch of.
Oh, was he in Django too?
I
Oh.
think it's background stuff, but he was in a number of Quentin Tarantino things.
So he must be Quentin's boy, yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
But it'll always be Uncle Jack to me.
Playing Fred was Cameron Dye.
He looked like Quentin Tarantino. Speaking
Or
of Quentin
playing-
Tarantino, I
Playing
swear to
Bailey.
God, as soon as he popped up, I'm like,
He could have been Tarantino.
I didn't know Quentin Tarantino was in this movie. I went and looked. I'm like, oh, he's not, but it certainly looked like he was. And he dyed his hair purple in the early scenes, and then it was blue
And
later
it was
on.
blue at the prom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right, yeah.
And he became Bailey later on in the movie.
Yeah, I don't
With
understand
no
what happened there.
explanation why he
I
was Bailey.
asked everybody before we started the podcast. His name's Fred. Everything's Fred on IMDb, wherever I read everything, and then I'm watching the show. They're calling him Fred. Then all of a sudden, he called him Bailey in the alleyway.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe it was his last name, but nothing has the last name listed. So we're assuming it's his last name because we can't confirm it, though. But
Or that's
all of a
his
sudden,
drink of
because
choice.
Fred just went away. He was just Bailey for the rest of the movie. It's just so weird.
Yeah. There were a lot of weird things in this movie that the sushi was very weird.
Yeah.
I just
So
had a
when-
problem with the sushi.
The sushi, but what
This
were
is
they doing with the
pistachio
potato?
paste?
What were they doing with the peanut butter? Or like
That's
there were,
peanut sauce, right? Weren't they making?
but they were like, it was like drip, like
Oh,
it was like
so
look,
disgusting.
And when he did the pistachio paste, I assumed it was wasabi. I was waiting for him to like
react to it.
freak
Yeah.
out from
I
eating a
thought so
whole
too.
thing
I
of
thought-
wasabi, and
yeah.
he never did. I was like, because he put it in his mouth and his eyes widened, and I was like, we're gonna
Yeah.
get some wasabi joke here, and it just never came.
The girl Stacy, Heidi, I think her name is. Hold on, I didn't get all of her name here on the sheet of paper.
Oh, why is that, Jason? What happened to your sheet of paper over there?
A dog attacked it. Heidi Holliker, Stacy. She's only been known for this and Eat or Be Eaten. That was all she had.
So
for
she's
her.
a top tour right
Yeah.
there.
Maybe
I was
that
just
was the one
waiting
I
for
saw,
one.
yeah.
This is about
But she was
Stacey.
also she was in the 2020 Valley Girl as well. She has 24.
Oh, she does have other credits.
She's got
Okay.
7 actress roles. That's it.
This is them talking about Stacey.
I think she does. I mean, who could make up? That stuff tastes like Clorox. God, gross me out.
Stuff tastes like Clorox. I asked my wife as soon as they said that, does that stuff taste like Clorox? And she said, it's been so long, I don't remember.
Oh my god! I hope she doesn't listen to this.
No.
Oh, luckily, my wife does not listen to
This
this, or
podcast, she does
participate in
not
any way.
listen to this podcast.
Her participation is to not come down the steps while we're doing this.
You'll get the
every now and then
answer,
she gives us
though.
a score. So she gives us a score.
She did
that
give a score
watched,
for
yeah.
this. Yep.
You'll get the answer when she screams, "Who came all over these pots and pans?"
Jesus Christ. Pots and pans.
Susie was played by Michelle Mayrink.
Oh, I got a Susie one too.
Where have you been? What have you been doing? Have you been getting laid, Susie?
Have you been getting laid, Susie?
She's also from Real Genius. She was Marsha in The Outsiders.
Yes, Michelle said does this girl always have to play second banana to the girl that's like trying to have sex? But
And-
Susie was the one that ended up having sex in this movie, right?
She was
the one that
Judy.
it was her party, like with Skip, right? Skip was
Yeah.
the one there.
And you were
Her mom
supposed to
was-
think that it was her mom in
Yeah.
bed with him.
Sure,
Yeah.
for sure,
Totally.
totally. You were supposed to think
Yep.
that.
And then it's Judy from Revenge of the Nerds. That Michelle Mayrink, that was her.
Wait. Judy from Revenge of the Nerds, was that like the one that Gilbert hooked or Lewis hooked
I don't
up
know.
with? Like the head nerd girl that he was like teaching
The
computer
blonde,
stuff
right?
to.
Like the blonde. The
I
blonde
don't know.
one.
I'd
I
have to
don't
go
know.
back and that's fun that she was in Revenge
And
of the
Valley
Nerds.
Girl, that was her. I rounds hers out. But Beth Brent was played by, I think, somebody Purcell here. I don't have the full.
Where's the
name
front of your
here.
page? Jason, you're so unprepared, man. It's unacceptable.
That is, who did I say? Oh yeah, Lee. That's Lee Purcell. She played Beth.
When my dog shits out your homework next week, I'll bring it into you.
This one I don't have to look at it. Richard Sanders.
Jason truly had his homework eaten by my
Who was
dog.
he?
Richard Sanders.
Oh, want me to play his clip?
Yeah.
Straight down. Oh, you can't go through there. No, stop.
I'm glad you played that clip because I wouldn't know his real name. I only know him as Les Nessman from WKRP in Cincinnati.
That was such a crazy, ridiculous scene.
If you
First
looked
of
at the
all,
background, they were just completely circles.
Also,
It was insane.
Weren't they in a parking lot? Weren't they
Yeah,
just-
but if you look at the whatever was through their windows in the back, it was just constant rotation, like they were going in a circle.
Also-
I love that she kept looking back and not paying attention to the
driver's ed, you would never be in there with your 3 best friends.
Well, you wouldn't be, but Michelle brought up the fact that like the same thing happened in summer school where they were all doing when they were all in the car together.
Yeah.
It was Chainsaw and the other guy and the one girl. I forget her name now. They were all in the car together.
Pregnant one?
The black girl, the one that was
Yeah.
dyslexic. They were all in the car also together during that as well. When
don't
Chainsaw kept trying to make,
It was
he
just
put his arm
ridiculous.
around him. He's like, "No, man, if I'm going to drive, I got to have my arm around."
It's just ridiculous, I guess, to get everybody in a scene. Like, there's no way you're getting that.
Listen, maybe that's the way California does its driver's ed. I don't know.
I know when I had driver's ed and when they went out 2 people per car, it was a person driving with the instructor in the front and then a person in the back. I was lucky because it was 1 week left in school. So they only took 1 person. So I got to drive the whole class. So
I didn't
have
even
to
think
switch
that was
off
a
with
real thing
somebody.
they did in schools. I thought it was just in the movies because we didn't have that
Oh, I did.
at my school.
I did it with just with one guy. That was our
It was
gym,
supposed to be- it
gym
was-
teacher
yeah.
was our driver's
I
ed
had-
guy.
I did it
Wow.
with another person.
And then he had
at Northern.
the gym teacher. And it was a lady. She was in this side and she had her steering wheel over here and the brake and everything. She slammed on the brake.
Oh,
the whole time.
I
tried to
my
make
guy
her
had the
yellow
my
light.
guy had the brake. My guy only
Yeah.
had the brake.
She had
And
the
your
steering wheel
driving
and
is totally explained by taking it from a Northern Burlington teacher.
It was a teacher that was there when Katie went to
I mean, I guess his
Northern.
hand was probably on your leg too the whole time.
My driver only had one hand. My dad hired a one-handed driver's ed teacher that yelled at me. He yelled at me once because he was showing me how to do.
Did he
like,
hire him on purpose? Like, I want the
he-
one-handed
no,
guy.
He had done. Was the teacher for my 2 sisters before me, so he taught.
I
our
think
whole
your dad
family.
said, like, I want a guy that can't touch my daughter while we're driving. So as long as one of his hands is missing,
Dude, this
that'll
guy-
cut down the amount of handsiness this guy can do.
He yelled at me.
Hey, Dana, you want to park for a little while? I'll put my
God.
stump on your leg.
Stop! It was to the wrist. That's where, in case you were wondering. It was
I'm
to
sure the
wrist.
guy's like a war vet, and I'm shitting all over him.
I have no
but it's
idea what happened.
fun.
He died like 3 weeks after I had him as a teacher. He died.
Really?
Yeah. But he's teaching me how to do some kind of turn. And this man, when he did the turn, he put his arm
His stump?
on the back. So when I did it, I think I went like
Oh,
this.
oh,
And
he was showing
yelled,
you what to
yes.
do? Okay.
So when I did it, I kind of like went like, and he yelled, "Put both hands on the wheel." And I swear to God, I did not mean it to come out this way, but I said, "You didn't have 2 hands on the wheel." And he yelled at me so nasty and said, "I only have 1 hand." I was like, I didn't mean it like that. God, I think about that every day
Still?
of my life.
Now you
It has
still think
been
about that, huh?
30 years.
And he's been
I still
dead for
think
30
about that.
years, huh?
Yeah. And he's
What
been
did he
dead.
die of?
Heart
Dana
attack?
probably berating him. He probably went home with his stump.
That's all he
and,
could
like,
think about.
He probably lost some blood. He didn't have a hand.
It was awful.
Did he have a bunch of gauze around him at the time?
In your dreams, you reenact it, and you're like, "You didn't have 1 hand and 1 stump on the wheel."
If I only would have said stump.
I apologize to all our one-handed listeners out there. This is
my
not
God.
making fun of you. This is
It literally, you know how you think about something that you did a long time ago, and it would make you so embarrassed.
Oh,
even
yeah.
30 years. The man's not even alive, and I still think about it, and I still get really like,
I have like 50 things that I think about like I did in high school that are still bouncing around in my
Yeah.
head. I'm like, oh my God, I hope everybody else forgot about that. And I'm sure everybody else forgot about it because when I think of all of you, I never remember anything embarrassing you did. So
I know.
it's like,
Yeah.
I'm sure the shit that I did in high school that I am mortified by still to this
don't
day.
remember.
No one else remembers. No one else is going to remember the crap that I did, but
I say horrible,
It takes me-
inappropriate
it takes me-
things 1,000 times a day.
most of the people just like blow it off as like, that's just Brian being Brian.
I think we can end
Is that the
cast there. Yeah.
I don't think there were any surprised people except Les Nessman. He was the one person I was like, hey.
Oh,
look, it's
well,
Les
we had
Nessman.
Colleen Camp.
Oh, yes.
Who we've
yes.
seen a few times.
The vet
Colleen
from the
She played
maid.
Sarah Richmond.
The maid from Clue.
Die Richmond.
She was her mom.
She was the mom. Okay.
She was the one doing the yoga pose as she walked in the door with her
Oh my
ass
God,
just
I know.
sticking up at her. And her dad was in Apocalypse Now.
Yes.
Her dad was chef in
He was chef in
Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
I
looked
didn't
like
think that. I
Sonny
didn't
Bono.
recognize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked like Sonny Bono.
It's so funny. I was saying to Michelle for like an hour, I'm like, this fucking Ringo Starr looking guy. And then all of a sudden I looked at her, I'm like, I meant Sonny Bono this whole time. I'm like, I don't know why I was saying Ringo. But he looked like Sonny Bono. And he was a big hippie. Like he was Uncle Rico.
Uncle
Yeah, he looked
Rico.
like Uncle Rico too.
The club scenes where Randy takes Julie were filmed at a Sunset Strip club originally named Filthy McNasty's in the 60s and 70s. In the 80s, it was called the Central, which was later purchased by Johnny Depp and is now known as the Viper Room.
That's the Viper
where
Room. That's
River
where
Phoenix
fucking River
infamously
Phoenix
died on Halloween,
Wow.
1993.
Damn.
I wonder if Johnny Depp still owns that, or did he sell it after he killed his
think
friend?
he still does have ownership or part ownership in it.
Wow.
I just want to get this out here now before anybody spoils it. When they walked in there the first time, Katie Siegel's name is like right there, Peg Bundy, and I was like it was on a board. I'm like, what the hell's her name doing on that board? I'm like, she was a singer before she was like an actress. I'm like, I wonder if that had something to do with
Might have
it.
been performing.
It certainly had something to do with it because I had to look it up. I'm like, that's way too much of a coincidence. Like,
missed that.
During filming of 1983's Valley Girl, Siegel was scheduled to sing at the Central, that bar. Her name can be seen in the schedule of the upcoming acts posted on the inside door. Scheduling conflicts, she couldn't actually be in it, but they never took her name
cool,
down.
yeah.
But that was so crazy. Like, as soon as I saw her name, I was like, Peg Bundy's supposed to be singing here tonight? That would have been fun.
We
if
can
she
talk
came up
about
there.
movie marquees now or later since
Okay.
you brought that up.
There are many.
I have a couple movie
I have
marquee
one
things.
that was wrong. And I know it was wrong, and I'm positive
What
it
is
said
it
what
that
it
you
said.
have that was wrong?
One of them said The Wizard of Oz, 1925.
Well, it said Wizard of Oz in another movie. It said Wizard of Oz and
Yeah, I missed what the other one was, but it was definitely not 1925.
I have a Empire Strikes Back.
I saw that.
so Empire
Yeah.
Strikes Back,
Marquee.
and I saw Officer and the Gentleman too, and I was like, didn't that come out in like 1990? I was really thrown off by that.
I had
that was
one down
definitely
too,
not.
yeah.
The back of the Variety paper, eating Raoul.
Was that really? I did not
Really?
see that. I did
Because
not
it
see
said
the
it said
Raoul.
Richard Gere and Deborah Winger, an officer and a gentleman.
I
I
saw-
think that was 82 or 83.
I looked
yeah.
up. It was 82 because I was like, no, that can't be the Officer and Gentleman. But it was. The
But I
year
have
before.
one other marquee that mentions someone from a previous movie.
I don't want to like take up too much
Dana
time.
might not get this one. Burlesque, a Las Vegas review. Kitten Natividad. I have the picture here.
Wow.
This is the picture. Kitten
Awesome.
Natividad.
Yeah,
That was
I remember
in this-
seeing that.
This was
There
all-
were a bunch of triple X shows
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
marquees all of a sudden. Yeah.
She's been in
American Virgin.
Last American Virgin.
And what was the other one? She was in that other one too. We just
was-
talked about.
Wasn't she the boobs in Airplane? Isn't
Boobs
that
in
her?
Airplane,
yeah, but we
yes.
didn't talk about that. I mean, I know she's in that.
But yeah, that's our Kit Natividad is our.
Yeah, what was she in
She was
also?
in
There
something
was-
else. I can't think of what it was now. Damn it.
Damn. But you're right. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, I saw that. I was like, ah.
Adrienne Barbeau was the 1982 patron saint of 1983. Kit is the 82, 83.
Yeah.
Yeah, 83 patron saint.
And here's what Dana was talking about. This is the first movie in which Nicholas Coppola was billed as Nick Cage.
Capolo.
Capolo. Who's this fucking Capolo person?
Coppola.
Who are these Capolos?
You got any notes?
Coppola. I have sound bites.
Dana, give us some
Sound
notes.
bites.
I know you got some
I have
stuff.
a lot of notes. So the first thing I noticed when they were in the food court, I didn't know this existed. I thought it existed as of like maybe 2002 was Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, there's a Chick-fil-A
In the
in the
food
food
court.
court there
Wow.
when they're
Which-
when the girls are all talking.
Yeah, that was
Must
so
be
weird.
is Chick-fil-A originally California.
You can clearly
West Coast
say a
thing
chick.
over there?
Like as soon as I saw the logo, I was like, I know that logo. Is that
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A? I'm like, there's no way but it totally was.
Yeah.
It was totally Chick-fil-A. But I had to look
Tara
it up
looked
too.
it up and she said it was. I guess they started in the 40s. I don't know
It's
when they
probably like one of those
became
things.
what
Like
they
20
are.
years from now, if they show an In-N-Out burger in a movie, you'll be in
Yeah.
New Jersey. They'll be finally an In-N-Out burger. You're like, what? No, that's not a thing. But it's been in California for 50 years.
Yeah.
I only had one In-N-Out burger. I didn't like it. I didn't even
I've
finish
never
it.
had it, but
And that's
I know it's like
unusual
a
for me to
California
not finish
thing.
it. It was too salty.
when they first are in the
Tastes
mall,
like Clorox.
and they're they're trying on their clothes and they're looking at the clothes and they're doing the cash register and they're showing all the prices.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny that there was like a layaway button on the cash register, like it just, like besides like
really?
register, like enter and all the numbers and cash out, layaway. I was like, that's so funny that was an option, just to be like, I'll put this on layaway. You know, just ring me up as layaway for that.
And the old MasterCards, and
they kept swiping those MasterCards on those old credit card things. My first job,
the old credit
my
first
first job, I remember having
I had one at my first
having
job
to put
too.
that credit card on
me
the
too.
carbon and do that whole thing.
And you had to check the number in that little book to see if the
We never
number
did
had
that.
been canceled.
No. But I remember,
Really?
I remember people asking me, like, I'd ring them up and I'd do the credit card thing, and they'd ask me for the carbon paper because I guess, like back in the day, stealing credit cards was you get your copy, the store gets their copy, and that carbon paper has the information on it too. You could take that and just make credit cards off of that. So I would do the thing, they'd sign it, and I'd rip off their copy, and they're like, "Can I have the carbon also?" And they'd take the carbon and like rip it up. I'm like, what are you doing? But
I got on November 24th, 1967, fast food Chick-fil-A opened in
67. Okay.
an Atlanta mall. It was open.
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yes, they are out of Atlanta. I remember because Mario was excited. He got invited to go tour their facility because he was like going to Chick-fil-A 3 times a day for 6 months and got on some reward program. And he was like the star and he was so happy. And he's like, I got invited, Dana. You want to go to Atlanta and go to Chick-fil-A and tour? No.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
I don't think Chick-fil-A is better than Popeye.
I think they're overrated.
There's nothing about Chick-fil-A that I get excited about. Like
I like the sandwich.
It's
I
fine.
do.
Like
Yeah.
I like their food, but like people wait in
They're
line for that
expensive.
shit for
Yeah.
hours, and I'm like, really, for fried chicken?
They're expensive.
I'd go to Popeyes over them any day of the week.
If there was a Popeyes closer to me, I would go to them.
There's
over
one on
Chick-fil-A.
Fort Dix.
Yeah, but when I'm at work in Robbinsville, like that Chick-fil-A.
There's
is
one
like
in
right
Hamilton, but
Is
it
there?
doesn't have a drive. Like you actually have to get out of the car. And I don't like
there.
that.
What?
It doesn't have a
Who
drive
gets out of their car for lunch? That's
I know.
insane.
I agree. Have you ever gone to Popeyes over there? Yeah, no drive-through.
Yeah.
So I'm very lazy. I'm not
The
getting out of the
script
car.
for this movie was written in 10 days.
That seems
Yeah.
entirely too long.
Yeah.
I feel like they took the West Side Story script and just took the music out and any of the violence. Well, not all. There was a little bit of violence, but
I couldn't tell the difference between the two clicks.
yeah, because they made because he was wearing how would they know he was not from their area just because of that shitty shirt he was wearing, that red
Yeah.
and black? Like they
That
knew.
was that was the colors. Like
Yeah,
it's
it
not
was almost
gang
like, are you
colors,
you
know what I
a
mean?
blood?
Like,
Is
And
that a
honestly,
crypt?
for that time, when they walked into that party, I thought they looked not as crazy as the other people at the party.
Did
who
you see
looked
Brad's
crazy.
outfit? That
Yeah,
multicolored
it was awful.
jacket thing and
Yeah.
every popped collar. I remember that was also
Double
a thing.
popped
All of a-
collar.
Yeah.
There was a double pop
Yeah,
collar.
there was.
But that was also a thing that all of a sudden became, in West Windsor, New Jersey in 1985 or so, whenever that movie came on video, like all of a sudden pop collars became a thing. I was like,
Yeah.
My first
I
polos,
mean, I had a pop collar.
I only
for sure.
wore them
Yep.
with pop
I
collars.
certainly had a
Yeah.
pop collar. And I didn't even know why I was doing it because I didn't see Valley Girl till I was out of high school.
What was that movie where the guy had like 5 popped
Wet Hot
collars?
American
Yes. Such a good movie.
And they were at that party and they're like handing out sodas like they're beers. Like everybody's like going to I'll take a green or a red.
Yeah.
It's like, are they really just drinking soda at this party? Because Michelle at first said like her parents are there because Beth was there making the sushi and
Yeah.
Beth was the cougar mom and we couldn't figure out why the parents were there. I'm like, oh, they're just drinking soda. I mean, I guess they were getting high in the bathroom. That one scene
Yeah.
when Nicolas Cage was in the bathroom in the shower.
Freaking shower. You can see him
I
right
was like,
there.
I'm like, is Julie going to come in and like take a crap? And he's going
I
to be
know.
sitting there
I
right
was
next to her.
waiting
And
for
can you put the fan on?
Then he was like, "Don't be scared." I was like,
Yeah.
You saying don't be scared makes it scary."
He comes up behind her.
I liked all the dancing.
There was
Oh
a
my
scene
God.
where the two people were talking. I don't know who it was, Julie, probably one of her friends, and there was a couple dancing next to her, and all they were doing was just their cheeks were like pressed against each other, and they were kind of bobbing their head back and forth, but it wasn't really dancing. It looked more like a seizure or something like that.
It was all just super white dancing.
Super white. Although there were some black people at the party, those two black
But they were
girls,
white
'cause
dancing, though.
They were white
Yeah.
dancing, but Tommy was
dancing with one of them,
He
yeah.
was like macking on that one black girl there, yeah. But I mean, I don't know what racial makeup of the Valley was in 1983. I'm sure it was pretty white.
Michelle Pfeiffer was originally considered for the role of Julie.
That would have probably made this movie better.
Yeah,
I have no problem with the
that
girl
would have
that
been
played
good.
Julie.
I didn't have a
but
problem with her either, but I think it would have made it a little more.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
I feel like it would have ruined her career because this movie was not.
Grease 2 didn't. So.
Listen,
And you know what? Scarface didn't either. Not that she wasn't good in
You're a
Scarface,
Grease 2 fan, too.
Yes, but
it's okay. The movie is fantastic.
but she definitely took some roles beneath her
Yeah.
early on.
Now,
the
maybe I
Mask.
missed this again, too, but like, they're having such fun, you know, when they're dating, hanging out, going out and everything. And then all of a sudden, it just happened.
No
Yeah.
explanation
No.
for any
Okay,
of that.
okay.
Nope.
No
I
explanation
thought
for all of a
it
sudden,
was
like,
It's the same
I thought
thing.
it was-
But also-
it was a great montage. And they
yeah,
what was it to
there was
I'll melt with you?
big
Was that the
montage
montage?
about the dancing, yeah, or
Drinking
dating, yeah.
the milkshake to get like that kind of corny. And then all of a sudden she's with her friend and she's like, oh, I don't know.
But she also like broke up with Tommy that way very early in the movie when they're on the escalator and she's like, yeah, Tommy and I were out last night, blah, 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 blah. And then he's going up the down and he starts walking down the down escalator. And she's like, yeah, I think we're through. I'm like, why'd they break up? Like there was no explanation for why she broke up with Tommy. And then,
Oh, and then
once
that's when
she
he
broke
sees
up,
her. And then they see each other, right?
Right, yes. And then there's no explanation for all of a sudden she just is like, he comes to the house. I thought Tommy was going to be there. I thought that was going to be one of those things where, because she was like not letting him in, she had the door closed.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Tommy's definitely in there. Like
That's
I said,
what it
I've
se-
seen
that's
this
what it
movie a
seemed
long
like,
time
yeah.
ago. I remember none of this plot, but
That's
I
what it
was
seemed like it
sitting
would have
there waiting
happened,
for
yeah.
Tommy to be like, what are you doing here, man?
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a very good
But just the
California
way
accent at all.
when he did come to the door and she was like, you can't just show up here and you can't do this and you don't own me. He just came over.
And that was no,
That's all he
there was
did.
no build up to that at
No.
all. It
He's
wasn't
like, yeah,
like,
you're right. He's like, you're right. What? No.
do you have a dime so I can go down the street and call you and then I'll come right back?
Stop trying to be cute.
Oh my God. And then when he flips out and the way he says for sure, but he says for sure, like totally, fuck you.
I think he was mocking
Fuck
her.
off for sure. Like totally.
Like, totally.
Fuck off for sure. Play it again. Sorry, I talked over it.
Now fuck off for sure. Like totally.
And he's obviously mocking her, but I think that might be like Nicolas Cage's all-time best delivery of a line.
How would,
because he was mocking her on
Wait,
purpose.
question for you. How would Matt Dillon have delivered
He
that one?
would have said, "Fuck you for sure, totally, man." Was Matt Dillon up
Love
for
you,
this
Matt
role
Dillon.
too?
No,
Matt Dillon might have been up
just
for this
love you,
role
Matt
too.
Dillon. Come on our podcast.
I wonder if like the reason Nicolas Cage wasn't in, what did we just do where, damn it, it's one of the movies, Bad Boys, let's say, because wasn't Nicolas Cage trying out for the Sean Penn role in that, and Sean Penn got him?
I think so, yeah.
So maybe Nicolas Cage was also up for it, and he got Bad Boys instead, or he got Valley Girl over Bad Boys.
Possible.
Because so many of the, all of a sudden, everybody we've done a movie on is doing another movie.
Yeah.
You know, within weeks of things we've done. That
If we
didn't
did with
happen.
Tom Cruise, right?
That didn't happen in 1982 as much as now. I guess Outsiders. There were so many people in that movie.
I feel like we have a lot of repeat people.
There were so many people in Outsiders that we did their movie and then we did them again very soon after that.
I mean, Tom Cruise did Outsiders, Outsiders, All the Right Moves, and Risky Business all in 1 year. That's crazy.
Yeah, we got Risky Business in a couple months.
He needed the money.
People needed to fix his teeth. By the way, Nicolas Cage's teeth were a disaster
Oh,
in this
I know.
movie.
He
And
didn't
you didn't
have his
notice. You didn't
celebrity
notice
teeth yet.
until
Right there, it's just
like
right before this is produced before he got his teeth fixed.
yeah. As soon as
Yeah.
like he was, it might have been late in the movie. He was hooking up with that other girl at the bar at the Viper Room bar
Yeah.
there, and he was just like smiling at her. And Michelle's like, "Jesus, look at his teeth." I was like, "Yeah, you didn't notice that before, but now his teeth are all banged up." And that girl that he hooked up with in the bar, Samantha, I want to say,
Samantha,
but
yes.
she's the one on the poster.
She
Is that like his ex or something? Maybe
I guess
Yeah.
they made no
Yeah.
explanation for why he was just making out with her in the bathroom.
They didn't put the other girl on the cover, I guess, because they couldn't get her in there or didn't want to reshoot or something. But yeah, that different.
It's very
girls on the
strange
cover.
that it's the other girl on the poster.
Wait,
Like,
Yeah.
you mean
when
the
you
girl
look
in
at
pink?
the Valley Girl poster, it's Nicolas Cage and the girl that he was hooking up with in the bathroom at the Viper
After she
Room
broke
there.
up with him, yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
even know.
It's crazy. Like why they would not put the Julie, and I don't even remember Julie's real name, but like why they wouldn't put her in the poster.
Did you?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No.
I was going to say, and this might just be not me having much knowledge of that scene he was in, but when they first take the girls to that club, the band that's playing, like, I don't know, I just thought they were like punk guys, and then they go and there's like this
Or new wave.
the band was playing. I'm like, that's the kind of music they listen to.
They
Like,
called them punks. I don't think they were punks. They didn't.
They were
didn't
supposed. It was
look
supposed to
punky.
be punk soundtrack, but they ended up with a very new wave.
Very
soundtrack.
new wave. It was
Yeah,
all new
like I
wave.
thought it was.
So it doesn't
weird.
necessarily match what I think that. What
Yeah,
is
what
there.
they were
So
going
that's
for.
that's a good.
Yeah, because
that's a
then
good
there's one point in the car where the girl's like, "Oh my god, I hate this song.
It
It's
was
awful.
Like, it was
oh
like
my,
the most
like,
generic
totally.
poppy
And I'm
music. I was like, why does she hate this
This would be
music?
the kind of music you like. I
Yeah.
don't understand. I didn't understand.
She was a whining bitch that whole drive.
Speaking
oh my
of
god!
music, Zappa had a song out around this time called "Valley Girl." I don't know if you
Was that in the movie?
No.
Oh, I okay.
I'm going to
now-
tell you why it wasn't in the movie.
Oh,
though.
is there a lot of curse words in it and stuff?
No,
like that?
because according to a news article published in January 17th, 1983 edition of show business trade paper Daily Variety, musician Frank Zappa of Pumpco Industries, I guess that was the name of his
label at the time or whatever.
filed a U.S. $100,000 lawsuit against the production with an injunction to stop its release. The action claimed false designation of origin, unfair competition, and dilution of trademark. Zappa's daughter, Moon Unit Zappa, had recorded a hit song called Valley Girl, which had been included on Frank Zappa's 1982 album Ship Arriving Too Late to Save a Drowning Witch. An article in the May 12th edition of the Los Angeles Times reported that a judge ruled against the plaintiff, Frank Zappa, determining there would be no confusion in the public's mind between the song and the film.
I can understand why that was a losing cause, especially if it wasn't even Frank Zappa singing it, but
Yeah, it was
Moon Unit.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was putting
He had
his
a
kids
problem
on their
with
album.
it. Yeah. Touch my penis again.
It sounds like you're kind of off kilter there.
Oh, I'm looking at my notes. I'm not sure why I had Empire and Officer next to each other, but
That's the movie marquee.
Now I'm like, I wrote the marquee. And maybe my favorite line in the whole movie, besides "fuck you," like totally, was when she was like, "I'm not getting out of this car," and he's like, "When they attack the car, save the radio."
That drive down the strip in LA was just like, he's a teenager, right?
Yeah.
17, but yet like everyone knew him. They were like,
that was
hey, but
that was
and I'm like,
so
that was
out of
weird.
character. Like,
There's no way he would be that well
said
known
to
at the bar
someone-
either.
and he's trying to
Yeah.
make time with this girl, and he's just like
Yeah.
calling out every single pimp and drug dealer
Yeah.
on the strip
He
there.
said
That
to
was
one of
very
them,
strange.
he was like, it was very like old dad, and he was like, no way, man, you didn't just do that. I'm going to talk to you later. And I'm like, what is he freaking talking about? It was so weird.
It was a very strange scene.
Yeah.
But like, that's
Los Angeles is so foreign to me. It seems like everything takes like 5 hours to get to, and like he brought her home at daylight. I was like, how do you keep someone out that long? But it probably takes so long to get from Hollywood to the Valley. I guess I
got a couple of addresses here. Can you tell me where the party's address was?
Oh,
Do you
no,
guys
no.
remember
You
those
mean like
numbers?
Like a 5-digit number,
It was a
right?
5-digit number
like
for the party.
23737 or something like that.
23727. So that's
Wow.
pretty good.
Because they showed it a bunch of times, so I guess it just
And
bled
then
into my
I
mind.
got Julie's house. If you knew, if
Yeah,
when
it
she
was
goes
like
into her house,
3-6. It was a 4-digit number.
Is it 5-3?
Started with a
Is it
3.
5?
it was 3907.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it-
390. Yeah.
Yep.
That scene where Skip is his name, like when he goes up into the bedroom, like uninvited, and
Oh
she's
my
in
God,
the
that's
shower, and I guess
yeah.
it turned out to. I kind of wish we saw the scene where she got out of the shower. He was standing there because all of a
Yeah.
sudden, in the next scene, they're just in bed.
You don't know
together.
who he's in
Yeah.
bed with.
I guess it was
and then
supposed to be a
you're supposed think that
surprise.
because you're supposed to think that it's his
His mom. Her
But it was
mom.
such a
Yeah.
shoehorned kind of subplot in there. Like we're all of a sudden we're supposed
Because
to
there was
care
also
about these
they,
people.
they did like a hint at the graduate earlier.
She said to him, she said plastic.
Yeah.
Michelle was like, what the hell did that mean? I'm like, that's from The Graduate. That's what the
Well, even
guy's
when they
dad
left at
says
the
to
end.
Dustin Hoffman, The Graduate. He says, all I got to say is one thing, plastics.
But also when they leave at the end, they leave the prom and they get in the back of the car and they just drive off. That was kind of like how they left on the bus at the end of
Yes,
Graduate
yes.
too. Kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, they were in the back of that
Oh,
car,
yeah,
and
that's
it's
right.
just
Yeah.
they didn't kiss, they didn't interact at all.
Yeah.
She took the bracelet off, but that was all she did. And
Yeah.
you're right. That is very Graduate. But it was the whole movie was very, I guess, Romeo and Juliet to start with, but then West Side Story or Grease, like so much of that DNA in this. Where, like, you brought it up before, Jason, like why they didn't like this guy. I guess because he was a punk, but He just seemed like a regular guy. He seemed like all those other asshole
Yeah,
guys.
right. Like,
But he was from the wrong side of the tracks, or the wrong side of Rodeo Drive, or whatever their dividing line is in Los Angeles.
there's that one.
I never thinking back. Valley people as like wealthy. Like that's kind of how they.
I thought the
made them
hills
look.
were the wealthy people. I
Yeah.
thought the hills were.
They seemed middle class to me. I thought
But that first scene is them at the mall buying new clothes, and he says something to her later on about buying new clothes. I think the dad does, or someone says something about buying new clothes, and it's all about status. But
yeah,
I mean, whenever I think of like the valley, that in any context, like that's where all the sewage runs down. The hills are where you want to be.
Yeah.
You want to be at the top. You don't want to be in the bottom where everything's
well, I guess
running down.
it's the hills and then the valley, and the valley looks down on the people from LA, so it's trickle down. There was some good talking about the words they used. There were a couple of them that I thought were really good. Like she called someone a pucoid at one point, and I really liked that one. But then they said this one, I didn't know what it meant. She said something was tripendicular.
I have that. I
have that
I wrote
too.
that. I wrote
Yes,
tripendicular
yes,
down. I was like, that
yes.
never made it to West Windsor. And,
No.
sorry, never heard that one.
Yeah,
and then I was
had
trying to
that
think,
too.
like, what two words did they put together to make like that one? Like, it seemed like
Well, tripping, like
tripping, and then
spectacular.
Spectacular?
Yeah. That's what it was tough. I mean, but
also when they were doing the driving test, the squealing tire sound effect was. I was like, how hard is she taking? How hard is she taking?
Well, that was
every time
the
she
whole
does
background just spitting behind her.
because it would have been fun to show her like from outside the car with
Yeah.
the car just taking like hard turns.
Well,
'cause
I
that's
loved
what
how-
it sounded like.
How they went to her, and then all you heard was him screaming and the door open and close, and then they go back to the wide shot,
Yeah.
and his seat is empty.
You never see him actually jump out. You just see he's not in the seat.
do you know why Randy goes back to the party?
Why does he go back to the party?
yes,
Because no one's going to tell
no
him.
one's
who
going
he
to tell
can
him
take.
who he could. Yeah,
Yeah, but what did he
he said no one's going to tell me who I can. He didn't say bang, but it's that.
But he said he forgot something. He left something at the party.
Did he?
That's why he turned around to go back. He said they forgot his comb.
His comb. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he does make some kind of like offensive, like no one's going to tell me who I can
Yes, I do remember
have
that.
sex
Yeah.
with or
Yeah,
something
but
like
he
that.
used the word, and it wasn't bang, but it was.
like
kind
that.
of like that.
No one's
It was
going to tell me who I can
tripendicular.
lay.
Who I
No
can
one's going to tell me
nail.
who I can nail.
Nail or something like
It's
that.
who I can tripendiculate.
Yes. Tripendiculate. I like that. The when they were doing the prom and they were doing the king and queen, I guess the woman who was announcing it.
Oh, the
her
teacher that was
speech
just her.
was so
Wow,
dramatic.
wow!
Why?
Kind of like
how about
the queen. I wasn't the queen at my prom, and you're
How
not
about
going to be
now
all
that-
high school, college, or
Yeah.
quarterbacks and cheerleaders.
The scuffle's going on, and the band keeps looking over to like.
But she's just
She's not paying
and it's
attention.
happening right next to her.
The band keeps looking at her like.
Just the whole kung fu of that fight too, where I was.
Oh, because he
They were
starts
like-
off at the,
How loud
the
he
high
was. He's
kick, and really the only thing that took him down was a kick to the groin. That's what
Yeah.
ended him because he would have.
Yeah. I think he would have kicked his.
Because Nicolas Cage took 2 punches in this movie and he went down both times.
Mm-hmm.
No one knows what it's like to get punched in the face till they do, and it is not. You're not recovering from that all of a sudden, especially a bare knuckle punch in the face. That'll affect you. You won't be able to react
Yeah.
well.
I've never been punched in the face. I've been punched in the throat by my sister.
Oh,
That was awful, but I've never been punched in the face.
I got punched in the face once, and the guy had a ring, his class ring on.
that's no good.
That hurt.
Why did he punch you in the face? Were you macking
It was
on
a
his
bar
girl?
fight that my friends started, and I was like, okay, I'll back him up. I was young, and I got one punch to the face, and I was like, I'm out of here. Bye, everyone.
You're on your own.
He went,
Just like
oh man, that really hurt.
Just
man.
like Fred or Bailey or whatever, he didn't help Nicolas Cage out in that first
No.
fight when
He was
when
hiding behind a girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was totally hiding behind a girl.
My friends were dicks, so they probably deserved it.
Yes, my friends were dicks too. Were they the same friends, or is everybody's friends just
I
dicks?
think everybody's friends are dicks.
I don't have many more notes.
I just want to say one thing that I saw in the bathroom at the Punk Club, the Viper Room. They had a circle jerks.
Oh, I had
Circle,
that too.
They had a circle jerks
I
poster
saw
on the
that
wall
one,
there.
yeah.
Circle jerks. Yep,
Yeah.
I had that.
I saw one poster. I think it might have been in someone's bedroom. the flower pot head. Who were the guys that were
Devo.
the Devo?
Oh yeah,
Devo.
And there was a Devo and an ET phone home poster right next to her over bed, and she had like an umbrella over her
yeah, what was
bed.
that umbrella? That was so weird.
And that's where Dottie got topless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She let that happen way too quick. She was just
she
lying
gave
there.
in.
She's just lying there talking to him. He's undoing her bra. I'm
Yeah.
like, wouldn't
That
you,
was
like,
what
at
it
least
said. Tommy is a dork. He's got the bod, but his brain's bad news.
She was so tiny. They were standing at the beach stand, I guess, waiting in line for food.
But
she was this big.
But Dottie looked good in
Yeah.
that bathing
She did.
suit. Yeah, she
But you know
really
what's funny?
looked good.
When I was a kid, I thought she was chubby.
And I thought,
But
You know,
looking
with
at her
face-
now,
her face has
Yeah.
she has chubby cheeks, like
Yeah.
little cheeks. Like,
but
you
now
know.
she
I
looked
really only
good.
knew her from Pee Wee growing up, so I never remember thinking of Dottie as sexy at all. She
Yeah.
was just like Pee Wee's girlfriend, but she was the hottest girl of all those girls. She was
Yep.
the best looking one out
But
of
you know
all
what
of
it
them.
is, though, I think, too, is she has the figure that girls today want. They didn't want that figure back
Maybe.
then because she had a big butt and she
Well, they kept
was,
talking about that when they were eating. They're like, this is going to go right to my thighs
Yeah.
and my zits and all that.
That's what I always
Yeah.
say.
I guess-
Right to my thoughts.
Oh, mine went to my thighs and it's still there. Still sitting around my thigh area.
What about Brian? What about your news?
Pepper, I guess I did. Oh, I'm sorry. That's nuts.
Oh, I have a good
What
one.
was that? What was that?
Yeah, what was that?
That was when he was trying to win her back, and he was doing all the different
Oh,
jobs.
when he was like
Oh my God, that was so funny.
the drive-in food guy
And her
uh,
boyfriend, Tommy, doesn't recognize
Oh
him.
yeah,
Oh,
the 3D
yeah.
movie. He's wearing the 3D glasses at the movie. Is this movie in 3D? He's like, no, but it's like in your face or something.
Yeah.
That was
And
terrible.
he just kept looking out over at her and like winking. Like,
But again, like there was no reason for her to break up with him. There was also no reason for her to get back with him just
Right.
because he kicked
I
the
swear, I
guy's
was
ass
like,
at the prom.
I got nervous. I was like, should I rewind this? Did I miss where they?
No.
well,
Something bad
sleeping in the
happens, you know?
yard was a little.
Yeah.
And he was
Creepers.
like shirtless too. Like, if
Yeah.
it's cold in the sleeping bag, you might want to have a shirt.
And she was like, oh no, he's seen me.
Well, when she first sees him, when he comes running out of the water, his run out of the water was so awkward, like Phoebe running in the woods. And then he had like this triangle.
He does
the
have a
triangle
triangle
hair.
hair.
Yes, yes.
That was awful. Like he did that on purpose. That's not a natural pattern.
Oh, I hope
he
it's, I hope it's
shaved that.
real. I hope that's real. I hope that's how his
Oh.
chest hair
That's how
looks.
it came
'Cause that was
in.
really cool looking. I
Yeah.
was like, look at his chest hair. I want my chest hair to.
And you know what? On the beach, the Val guys, gals,
The Val
whatever,
speak?
Val dudes.
Val dudes, and the Hollywood punks all look alike.
They do.
Yes, they
And I'm
do.
surprised they all go
Yep.
to the
You're
same
right.
beach. You would think
Yep.
they'd have their own beaches.
I thought
Yeah.
the same thing. Yep. Or different
Well, the
areas.
valley's
Yeah.
nowhere
I would have
near
thought
the
the punk
beach.
ones would never even go to the beach, to be honest. The beach doesn't seem like a punk vibe.
They would just be
like,
down. They'd be.
Hey, let's go to
they'd
the
be the ones.
beach.
They'd be the ones under the boardwalk.
Yeah.
But I also
Yeah,
never got the
exactly.
impression that he was a punk guy. Like my definition of 1983 punk would not be him.
Well, yeah. I think I
think-
think that because when I was a kid and watching this, I thought he was.
You look at Nicolas
punk.
Cage now. You think he's more new wave or like
With-
he's
with
like
his friend with the
or even
dyed
goth.
hair
He's
and
in the
stuff
go-
like
he's
that.
in
Yeah.
like the Cure. He's in the Cure
Yes.
and Skinny Puppy
Yeah.
and stuff like that. You know.
I think it was just already
you like
in my
that
head
one,
from
huh?
when I was a kid. So watching it now, I just kept that idea that that's what he was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But
You got any more quotes or anything?
Yeah, here's Dottie after the little sister. I just like this one.
Seriously, it's like a total bummer when you're young and like you don't even know why you're here.
You're young and you don't even know why
It's
you're
like, is
here.
she stoned?
She's like 16. She has any idea why she's here. I'm 52. I have no idea why I'm here.
well, I did read that Dottie or E.G. Daly, is that her last name?
Is she initials?
Elizabeth
Yeah,
Daly,
she goes
yeah.
by E.G. Like
At one point, I don't know if she goes by Elizabeth now, but it was Elizabeth E.G. Daly or whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's like trying to become an author because they don't like women's names in books.
yeah,
like
they just do the initials.
JK. I hear dogs barking. Logan's probably home.
Rough.
What was I saying? I don't remember. Oh, she wasn't from the valley and she didn't know how they talked. So she didn't know how to do that whole lingo thing. So
Oh,
it was
really?
saying how
Yeah.
like she, I guess, just had to go in there and was
Is it like one of those
Guessing
movies
or
where they have to like
copying.
when they put Leah Thompson and Tom Cruise into a high school before they filmed all the right moves just to like make them get everything down? I wonder if they put that much thought into this movie. They're just like, just go.
yeah.
Tell you
Hang out
what,
in the mall.
why don't we get some scores?
I got a couple more sound
Oh, you
bites.
do have sounds? I thought it was the last one. I'm sorry.
Look, it's like shaking hands with your best friend. Only like real fast.
Listen, in the background, that's Men
Men
at
at
Work.
Work, yeah. They played Men at Work a couple times in this. There was a couple repeat songs in this. I guess they're paying for the rights. They might as well use it up.
That chick Julie, she's truly dazzling. Yep.
She's not one of ours.
But she's not one of ours.
One of ours.
Yeah.
That line right there is from, it's also in a song by the Bouncing Souls. These are the quotes from our favorite 80s movies. Great song.
And then there's this one. Oops.
Okay. That was Josie Cotton with Johnny, Are You Queer?
I didn't know that song. Was that a famous 80s song?
That was a go-go song. They played it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I don't know.
Who was that girl band that was singing?
The Go-Go's?
No. The band at the prom and stuff like that.
Plim Souls?
Yeah, I don't know.
Was
The
that
girl
Plim
who
Souls?
looked like Elizabeth Taylor, but probably wanted to look like Pat Benatar or something like
Tara
that.
said that looked like Pat Benatar.
Well, Michelle said that too. I was like,
no,
it looks like
doesn't.
Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah.
And speaking of Elizabeth Taylor, Julie's parents had a picture of Elizabeth Taylor like in their living room. It was
Yeah.
they had like a weird like jungle vibe going with Elizabeth Taylor's picture in the middle of it. It was very strange.
Oh, here's the Plim whatever.
The Plim Souls?
Live whatever. They sound like every other 80s generic band. They could be in Back to School or any of those movies.
Yes.
I thought they more sounded like
That could have also been like a TV movie. That was like at the
Goo
end
Goo
of the Saved by
Dolls
the
or
Bell
something
movie.
like that.
Well, Goo Goo Dolls were like 90s, weren't they?
And then, of
Yeah,
course,
I
this
think
guy.
so.
No,
But wait,
sounds
you
much
wanted to
more
tell us
famous.
something about this song.
Oh yeah, so we had the subtitles on, obviously, and that comes on. And Tara's like, "That's what they're saying? They'll stop the world and melt with you." I was like, "What did you think they were saying?"
Well, what did you think they were saying?
She said, "I don't know. They're there." You thought they were saying, "I'll stop the world," and they're there. She's like, "Yes." Okay.
That doesn't make sense.
My aunt used to think the Karen Carnes?
Kim Carnes. Betty
Kim
Davis
Carnes.
eyes?
No, Don't It Make Your Brown Eyes Blue? She
It's Crystal Gale, isn't it?
Crystal Gale? She thought it was donuts make your brown eyes blue. I remember she was telling me that one time. I'm like, it's not donuts, it's donut. She's like,
Our favorite,
it's donuts. I'm like,
think,
I don't think you're right.
our buddy from the podcast, he gives us a lot of likes on Facebook, Mike B.
Yes.
He always made that quote, donut make your brown eye blue.
Oh, really? My aunt was convinced that was the actual lyrics.
Who's going to give the first score tonight?
I can give mine and my wife's if you want.
All right, you want to do that?
Michelle gave this a 70.
Michelle gives it a 7-0.
I'm not quite sure why she didn't give me any commentary on that. She didn't relate to this movie. She wasn't like this was. Oh, the only thing she said relatable was like, I never danced around in my underwear with a bunch of other girls in the room with that scene with the.
So
and when they were going through the mom's lingerie, I was like,
my
did
God.
any of your friends like go through your mom's lingerie? She's like, have you seen my mom? She's like, they were not wearing my mom's lingerie, but yeah, she said we were never. She's like, I never. She was like, I never took my bra off in front of one of my friends. I was never in my underwear in front of my friends. It's like, well, you didn't
only
grow up
in the movies.
You didn't grow up in California, I guess. She gave it a 60. I gave it a 70. I gave it a 60. I didn't really. There was no plot to this movie. It wasn't fun. There wasn't enough fun in this for me to want to watch it again for like the good lines. There were a couple of lines that I giggled at, but I don't think they wanted it to be fun. And there wasn't enough drama either. It was just kind of there. And looking back on it now, I just, it made no impression on me when I was young and I saw it. Like I watched it this time and I was like, I don't even remember a lot of this plot, but I've seen West Side Story and Grease and Romeo and Juliet. So I knew where it was going. What's that?
Grease 2?
Was this similar to Grease 2? Did I see that? Is Grease 2 still my lowest score? Whatever I gave it last time, take 5 points off it again.
That's not even.
It was always going down. So yeah, 60 for me. I'll never watch it again.
I'm around the same. I gave it a 65. I don't need to see this movie ever again. I liked it. I didn't hate the movie. Had some fun parts. But yeah, I don't need to see it again. 65.
I liked it. I was surprised I liked it.
You're so weird, man.
He is,
what
dude.
you like and don't like is confounding.
I don't know if I'll ever watch it again, but if it were on, I would probably watch it again. So I'm giving it a 72.
Wow.
You can just Google Dottie's topless party now. You don't have to watch the whole movie if that's what you want to
Well,
see.
Did you give it
the
extra
girls
for
in
the, did you give
underwear,
it extra
too.
for the nudity?
I did. Yeah. That definitely.
See, he does
factored
calculate in
in.
his nudity.
Okay. Tara gave it a 75, and I gave it a 65.
Wow, Tara liked it more than you, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I found
Me and
that
Dana was
interesting.
65.
I think I was a little
Dana got the score correct.
disappointed. Yeah,
65.
Like I was disappointed because I thought it was a good movie, and I guess because I was a kid when I saw it, and now that I'm an adult, it was not a good movie.
When we were planning on doing this, and Michelle was like, I was like, oh, we're doing Valley Girl. Dana's coming over, and she like looked up. She's like, did you know there was a remake? I'm like, no. And she's like, why the fuck would they make a remake of that movie? And so I guess I already had it in my head. I'm like, oh, this is probably not going to be good. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that you had higher expectations and they let you down.
Yeah.
I already set my expectations low, and they met my low expectations.
I had low expectations, but then I actually started to enjoy it. Then
It wasn't a bad movie. There was nothing bad about it. It was just, I wasn't excited either. It just kind of happened, and like the yachting over why they broke up and got back together kind of.
I really
it's
thought
like,
I missed
what?
that stuff, and I was like, damn.
And then the whole
what?
side plot with Skip and the mom that didn't really,
Yeah, there's no point
nothing
there.
really happened there except for the mom finding them in bed. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was
Yeah.
fun watching Nicolas Cage have a starring role that young, and saying like, okay, maybe he's not the best actor now. I like him as an actor, but that was bad.
It was almost
That was
like
bad.
you watch that now and you're like, how did that guy become famous? Because he's not a good actor. I mean, he's still not a good actor, but he's fun to watch now.
He's a fun
He's got
actor.
fun roles. though.
Well, now he's like worked into the like, oh, I'm just going to be Nicolas Cage, and so he just does that all the time, and that's fun. But you watch this 40 years ago, and you're like, yeah, that guy, he's not going to make it.
Critics give this an 83, and audience gives it a 72.
83. What did Gene
that
and
almost
Roger were just like, I give this 2 big thumbs up.
I did see Roger did give it a thumb up.
Did he
I saw
really?
that,
Wow, this
yeah.
seems like a kind of movie where they'd be like, well, this is no. Well, I know he hated Fast Times, but when you're comparing it to the other movies of that time, Fast Times, Last American Virgin, this is not
No.
in that ballpark
Fast
at
Times
all.
was way above
Yeah,
this movie.
and so was
Yes.
Last American Virgin, and I'd say All the Right
Agreed.
Moves was a lot better than this too.
no,
Agreed.
Yeah, a
that I
lot.
definitely disagree with. I hated All the Right Moves.
That's because it had sports. There was no sports in this.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a good movie, though.
No, it was a good movie.
I couldn't care any less about any of the characters.
I don't know about that because you care about the brother a little bit, I think. You think
I didn't.
I don't think I
did.
saw all the right moves then. Who's in that?
Tom Cruise,
Cruise.
Leah
Oh,
Thompson.
I cannot stand Tom Cruise.
Listen, it's one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies. I believe I brought that up. But
I
Leah,
might-
I think I'm the
You do-
ultimate Tom Cruise defender. I
you do
love
see-
Tom Cruise.
We got to see Leah Thompson's breasts last week, and
No,
Oh, is that
that
movie-
was
is
my
that the next one
100% of
coming
my
out?
score.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll try to watch it before.
Spreaker is the site you were asking me about, Andy. Spreaker.
I've
That's
never
where you can
asked
find our
about
podcast. Everywhere else you can get it. Google, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, you name it, we're there. Download, subscribe, rate, review. It's the exciting new podcast on all the social medias. I'm the Jazoo on Instagram, Jazoo74 on Twitter. This has been the exciting and new podcast. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy, AEGonzo1 on Twitter, AEGonzo1970 on Instagram.
And I'm Brian, Papa Bad Kitty.
And I'm Dana Caps.
On TikTok.
TikTok. That's all I got.
Get it while you can still get TikTok,
Yeah.
but they ban it in this country altogether. How am I going to watch all my videos on how to do stupid stuff if they ban TikTok?
I've learned a lot of things on TikTok.
I've learned nothing except to not do the things they're doing.